Hey, and today it is Be Kind to Be Al Day because these folks just said he didn't have a chance. Bill Rice Jr. sitting next to me said he didn't have a chance. But the Crimson Tide of Alabama, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, the cream goes to the top.
I didn't say we didn't have a chance. I thought Alabama had a chance. I didn't think Alabama would win, though. I'll admit to that.
I tell you what, I don't think many people did. But it was all about strength. And do you know what? That guy he would give out. He bless his heart. The great defensive nose guard. He couldn't even hardly get in his position. He was so tired when that game was over.
For Georgia, the big guy?
Yeah. I will tell you this. Well, of course,
he is so big. I've never seen a football player that big.
Well, he's 6'6", I think, and he weighs 290, 350. He said he came down during the summer. But he's a huge, great player. But in that game, he just gave out. And Alabama, where they, let me tell you this, and this is what they did. They went for that quick count, the quick deal, and they would go in there and play 3 or 4 plays real quick at a time. And Georgia linemen were going everywhere, and they just gave out. Just made them give.
Whatever their game plan was,
give out, looked like to me.
It worked. The game plan was let Bryce Young win this game.
And he sure did.
That was my thought in the game, is just let Bryce be Bryce. And it worked out.
Well, I tell you what, if he didn't win the Heisman Trophy, they ought to give it to some charity somewhere.
That's right. Well, he won it, and then it makes what he did in the Auburn game even bigger. Because if Alabama doesn't pull a miracle win against Auburn, I don't know if beating Georgia even gets Alabama in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess, and I don't think Alabama would have got up and played as hard if they had lost to Auburn. So they still had everything in front of them.
They were embarrassed at the Auburn game, and Auburn definitely played them off their feet. And but when it came down to the big game, and of course the big game's not here. That's the thing. The big game is 2 weeks down or 3 weeks down the way.
Well, I remember Alabama had a rematch with LSU. LSU beat Alabama in the game of the century in the regular season, and then they had a rematch in the national championship game, and who won? Alabama won, and what game does everybody really remember?
The
last one. So right. Georgia can still win this whole thing.
It's very easy. Of course, it's not out yet. At least I haven't seen it. Have you seen the?
Oh yeah.
What is it now?
I didn't watch it. I was at church.
Who's number one?
Numero uno is the Alabama, Sweet Home Alabama.
Alabama.
Numero dos is Michigan.
Michigan. Oh boy, they look pretty good.
The Big Blue, the Wolverines, khaki pants team.
Yeah.
Numero tres is Georgia on my mind.
Okay, Georgia drops to 3.
So you got Michigan versus Georgia in the Orange Bowl, Mike.
In the Orange Bowl.
You've been to an Orange Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Alabama decided, since you get perks if you're number one, and one of them is you get to pick which game you want to play in, and Alabama wanted to play in Jerry World in the suburbs of Dallas.
Oh really?
Yeah. So Alabama's playing in the Cotton Bowl against Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Kid.
Yeah.
I wondered if Alabama would want to play in the Orange Bowl, but Alabama's had good luck in Jerry World, and I think Alabama.
Where they had better luck is Atlanta, but Atlanta.
I think Alabama likes the AstroTurf, and it gives them a little more speed to Jameson Williams.
Yeah. All right.
So it's Alabama, Cincinnati, and then Georgia, Michigan, in Miami. The winner will play in Indianapolis, of all places, for the national championship.
All right, go ahead and get it.
Guten Morgen.
Morning.
Mike Amos calling in from, let's see, where are you calling in from this morning? Great Beach, Florida?
It's 69 degrees already in Great Beach, Florida.
Oh, gosh.
In the 70s all weekend and sunny.
Oh, man, it was beautiful, no question.
Perfect December weather.
Yeah.
I talked to Donna Stevens at church. Boy, we had a packed house at First Methodist. I mean, it was like Easter.
What was no special day?
Well, it was a children's play, the
Oh,
Grinch
yeah,
Who
okay,
Stole
yeah.
Christmas, and that if you do something for kids, I guess it packs them in. But I sat next to Donna Stevens, an old high school buddy of mine who's married to Wendell, and she said Wendell was down in Florida playing golf since last Thursday with Don Jacobs, among other people.
I
good
know
group.
I can't
And it said they had beautiful weather.
I'm having trouble getting, just like I'm having trouble, just like Georgia had getting Big Al off the bench, out of the game.
Well, I think the story we need to talk about today is the excitement of Auburn heading to
They'll have them play.
the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Is that where they're going?
Yeah.
That's big news. That's big news for Birmingham.
Auburn in Birmingham against Houston should be a big time show.
Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna be a good game. I'm sorry about Big Al. I can't get him to shut up this morning. We're gonna check him out over here. Maybe I can get him to shut up.
He didn't want to stop singing.
There we go. Got him this time, I hope.
Another big. I hate it for. It was great for Alabama's athletic department, but Alabama probably has their biggest road win in basketball history. I think they maybe beat UCLA when they were number one time, but they went to Seattle in front of 18,500 fans in a sold-out arena and won by almost double digits against Gonzaga, who was the number one team in the country to start the season. So I don't know if I got to watch that, but that was phenomenal basketball.
I know, yeah.
After the SEC championship game.
I didn't watch it. I'm too nervous to watch it, but
You're too nervous to watch it.
But I followed it on the internet, and there was one Shackelford, or I guess is his name, just lit it up in the first half, and Alabama jumped out to a huge lead and just held on in the second half.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Alabama was up by as many as 18, held on and won. Shackelford scored 28. Davidson, the freshman out of Calhoun, the McDonald's All-American, had his best game for Alabama ever. I think he scored 18. Quinterly, the other guard, scored 18. Just a great game.
Boy,
for Alabama.
that's a big score. What was the final score?
I think won by 9.
91-82.
They scored 91 points on them. That's good.
And they didn't play in Spokane. They played in Seattle. And like Mike, 18,000 people.
Apparently, Gonzaga's arena only holds 6,000. So when they played in Seattle, that was 18,500 fans.
I didn't realize that. Yes, that's right. And what a big win for Alabama basketball. But of course, back to football. Everybody, the town's still buzzing as Alabama wins 41-24.
Every time Alabama wins, something bleak happens. And then one of my favorite players in the last couple of years, Mechie, is now gone for the year with an ACL.
Yeah, Alabama can't catch a break.
I know it.
He was walking around after the first half and looked like he was moving pretty good to me. I was hoping it was just maybe an MCL, but they interviewed him after the game, and he said he was just getting ready for the national championship game, wasn't focused on the next game. But horrible injury. Now, if Alabama has to play Georgia again, they'll double team Williams.
Yep.
And and Alabama will be not the same team, to say the least.
That makes Alabama a dangerous team. A great quarterback and not one but two great receivers, and so now we're down to one, unless somebody from out of the blue rises up.
Yeah, the guy.
You got to hope that JoJo Earls will come back. The guy that's real similar to Waddle. He returned punts a lot this year. He's a guy that could be a game breaker if he could ever get on the field consistently.
But so he's out there. So he's definitely out there.
Well, no, he got hurt too, so he's coming off an injury. I think the big issue too is the Wheaton kid, the 5-star running back who tore his meniscus at the first of the season. Is he going to be back to play in the running back rotation? I think Alabama needs one more running back.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even heard anything that suggests that, but that would. Then the second string running back seemed to get his bell rung yesterday. Robinson played.
That was targeted. They didn't call him.
I know it. Michael, let's have fun this morning. Each one of us will give what they thought was the true reason for such a big win for Alabama. I'll let you.
I'll start Stetson Bennett, the walk-on quarterback, and it's all in his head when he plays against Alabama.
That's right. He was not near the quarterback everybody was telling us we were going to see,
Well, he still threw for 340 yards. And
he did?
Yes.
He threw for 340
and 2 touchdowns.
Hell, he threw 150 to that tight end from Napa.
Yeah.
I said cover number 19, Alabama. Good gracious. Yes. That guy's a man among boys, and he's a boy himself.
I don't know if y'all remember, but one of the biggest plays that didn't happen was in the first series. Stetson Bennett throws it right to Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle is going to walk in from 50 yards for a touchdown. He just drops an interception right in his hand. So that game could have started like that early.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jordan Battle gets one later that he returns for a touchdown, and Alabama goes up 38-17, and that was pretty much it.
Now, I will say that Stetson Bennett has, in 2 games against Alabama, has had 2 devastating interceptions in both games. So your point is well taken. But the story is Alabama had 300 yards offense in the second quarter, I think, against Georgia, that was only giving up 235 yards per game in 4 quarters. Just night and day from what Alabama's been. And another thing that we maybe need to talk about, Alabama sneaks in this third-string center that hadn't played all year, that nobody even knows his name.
He had played defense. Didn't they pull him off the defense, Mike?
No, he was just a lineman. They've never used Seth McLaughlin, but he's a 4-star out in Georgia.
Yeah.
In what class is he, Michael? Do you know? Is he a sophomore? Or?
He's a junior, I think.
So he's been there for a while.
Hey, let me tell you this. Let me. Just, I want to ask somebody where he is. Where's that big old guy? That big old guy that nobody could block, and he would just walk all over our linemen.
He was humping for air on the sideline.
He would walk it. He would go in there, and he's gonna walk over our lineman and just snatch that quarterback, and slam him to the ground. I don't even know if he ever even touched the quarterback. Did he get us? Did he have any sacks?
Alabama had no sacks after 7 against Auburn.
Alabama's offensive line won the game.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you one thing that you can sure see. They really, I always say they got shoe to shoe, and that's exactly what they did. They got shoe to shoe, and they said, "Come on."
Yeah.
And then they pulled in the tight end in. They didn't throw to him that much, but they pulled him in. And they had a double tight end set. A lot of times when they
pass.
That's right, pass.
Alabama's got a tight end named Randolph, and he is 6'5", 290. So it's pretty much like a glorified offensive tackle. They're blocking tight end.
Yeah, so that had a lot to do with it. Just getting in somebody's way.
Latu had a good game, and Billingsley had a pretty good game too.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you're talking about a pretty wide receiver. This kid from California, Michael says from the wine country, he's a pretty good football player.
You talking about the quarterback, Bryce?
No, the one for Georgia. The wide receiver,
number 19 is going to be a pro for sure for Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Kid from down from California, the freshman, Bowers, I think is his name.
You see him just run. You see him run through 3 Alabama secondary guys.
I counted 5. I counted 5.
If Coach Bryant was alive and saw that tackling, he would have a connection fit.
He said, "I'm gonna go to Napa Valley and get that guy."
It's Alabama against the world, just like always. But the world's even going to be bigger. Everybody in the world and everybody, even not even a football fan, will be cheering for Cincinnati. And it's going to be a matchup that is David versus Goliath.
That's right.
Well, the last time we had one of these, it was Alabama versus Utah. So surely Coach Saban will educate his team on let's don't get cocky, boys.
A national championship wasn't on the line for that game, though. They had lost the national championship, and they didn't come out and even try to play in that game.
All right, how many days until that big day?
31st, so it's 25.
They get 25 days before they play.
Mm-hmm.
You know why, Michael? Like we've seen so many times, a lot of people that were considered gone for the year might be able to come back. Do you think
a lot of people keep on saying on the message board for Christopher Allen, who broke his foot against Miami, who was the starting defensive end, a lot of people think the second round pick, there's an outside chance he could come back.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Is anybody else other than that?
Well, I mean, JoJo Earl's a huge, kick returner wide receiver that Alabama needs to get back, definitely way more than Allen.
JoJo Earl, and then what's the other kid?
Christopher Allen got hurt in the Miami game.
Christopher Allen, yeah. That looks like we could use him, no question about it.
Well, if you could get about 10 plays from him, that would be good.
Yeah.
You remember that happened in one of our playoff games, or SEC games, a couple years ago. Alabama had some players that were hurt early in the year, and dang if they didn't get two of them back right when we needed them.
Well, the bowl picture is out. Michael mentioned it earlier. Alabama had sort of their pick. I reckon that's the way it would work, and they could have gone to the Jerry World in Dallas. They could have gone to the Sugar Bowl. They could have gone to the Orange Bowl. Or could they have gone to Atlanta, Michael? Or Atlanta?
No, Atlanta's not in the pick. They rotate these games.
But all those others, they had their pick, and Alabama picked Jerry World in Dallas to go to. And
I'm predicting there's not going to be a great crowd. The economy is tough. Don't you think the fans, if they're going to go to a game, will go to the national championship game? They'll save their money and go to the next one. They'll skip the first one. I just hope Alabama has a lot of fans in Texas that we don't know about that will go to the game.
That bothers me. It's a pretty good ways to Dallas. It's not. I think it's about a 10-hour drive. Wouldn't you say to Dallas?
My father-in-law, Frankie Fryer, said that he made a good point that there are direct flights from, I think, Birmingham to Dallas.
Yeah.
That are cheap.
There's even direct flights out of Montgomery to Dallas.
Yeah. So
that might help.
What day is that game going to be on? Do you know?
2:30 on
2:30
on the 31st. So
2:30 on the 31st, New Year's Eve. Is it a New Year's Eve game?
Yes.
It's a Friday. Yeah, it's Friday.
Oh boy, that's going to be a wild day, man. that Friday, New Year's Eve.
It's a good day when you got little kids and get an excuse to tell the wife we don't have to do anything on New Year's Eve. We'll just watch Alabama play.
Well, let's just say this: 2:30 on CBS. National TV.
On ESPN.
Oh, ESPN.
Who owns the playoffs?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Disney.
ESPN's got the big game, and the ESPN.
I'll tell you what, if Gary Danielson doesn't lose his job, I mean, that guy is the biggest. He hates Alabama more than any.
Michael, I don't see that. I don't see any of that.
Towards the other team. Oh my God, I can't even listen to it.
Michael, I did not see that.
Alabama's getting tackled early in the game. Pass interference after pass interference. The refs aren't calling a single thing on Georgia. I mean, Jameson Williams is getting his arm pulled every time they throw the deep ball to him.
Yeah.
And Danielson's, they're letting them play.
Yeah.
Alabama gets pass interference calls against Georgia in the first half alone.
Oh, I thought Alabama was going to set a record for pass interference calls.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's a Big Ten guy, played at Purdue. He has no business calling it. Once you get a guy from the South that plays the Southeastern Conference League as the color guy. It's awful.
Well,
he doesn't have many fans. I moot the game anyway, though, usually. I like Sean McDonough and Blackridge. I can listen to them.
who is the former?
All the information you need is on the screen. You don't even need the sounds.
That's a different network. I reckon that's where it is. He doesn't do much work anymore. Talking about Danielson.
I mean, my guy, give the slot to Tim Tebow or something. Let Tim Tebow. I mean, one of the greatest quarterbacks to play in the SEC. Let him be the color guy.
He does a good job on the SEC network. I know that.
What's the date? What's the big date? Is this Saturday for the Heisman Award banquet?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bryce Young's Heisman. There's no way he's not going to.
Well, I've seen that thing work though a different way. So, but who is it could even challenge what he's done?
That's a good point. I hope they invite Will. I hope Will Anderson's in the top 3 or 4 and at least gets a trip to New York.
No, the northeastern fan base is infatuated with that Hutchinson guy from Michigan. Apparently he's going to go instead of Will Anderson.
What does he do?
He's a great pass rusher for Michigan. Aiden Hutchinson, big number 97.
Is Michigan going to be competitive?
Yeah, Michigan can beat Georgia. I mean, I'm almost convinced by that after watching them the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I tell you what. I tell you the only.
Michigan has good wide receivers too. I mean, they're pretty fast. Their guys can definitely run with Georgia, which I was kind of surprised. Because, Ohio State, a lot of people think has the best receiving core in the country. And obviously, James Williams was a part of that wide receiving core. He's the best wide receiver in the country now for Alabama. And I know it's in the snow, but, man, they shut them down.
I'll tell you this, talking about Alabama and their pass rush and things like that, the only way Georgia can win this thing is to go back to the mentality of the way it was, as everybody had this billing, Georgia, you can't block him, and I'm telling you that's going to be the meanest bunch of rascals you've ever seen, Georgia, because the Kirby's going to go back and just say, all right, guys, it's a fist fight. Hey, we're fixing to go in and we're fixing to tear them up. It's got to be that kind of mentality.
I'm almost inclined with Mechie being hurt to make Georgia the favorite to win the national championship. And I also remember what Georgia did. Remember Auburn beat Georgia on a miracle play the week before kick 6.
Yeah.
That long pass that tipped off and the guy. Well, then Georgia plays Auburn in the rematch in the SEC championship. What does Georgia do? They really stomp and dominate Auburn.
But can Georgia?
Sometimes a loss is the best thing that happens to your team.
I agree. I agree 100%. The best thing that could have ever happened to Georgia was for them to lose that game, and now they're going to be wild. Everybody better get ready because, if these guys are as physical as everybody says they are, and really just go overboard, I'd hate to be the next team that plays them next.
Well, I hate to play him without Mechie for the whole game. Because, Mechie caught in the first half 8 or 9 passes for 100 yards.
Now, I know Michigan.
Great news here for UAB too. Y'all seen UAB will play in the Independence Bowl on ABC television at 2:30 on December the 18th against number 13 BYU.
Great
huge matchup for UAB.
Wonderful. And what town they playing in?
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Hey, wait a minute, Michael. You're making a big to do, and they playing in that Weed Eater Bowl. They're playing in that Weed Eater Bowl, Mike.
The matchup, though, number 13 team in the country, BYU against UAB. I mean,
I'm playing with you. You're exactly right.
That's a good ball game.
But you remember how everybody used to make fun of that bowl game.
I think it was the first bowl that Saban went to.
Go ahead.
I think Alabama and Saban, didn't they win in the Weed Eater Bowl in Saban's first year?
Yeah, Colorado. They beat Colorado.
Boy, these folks can remember anything.
UCF, Central Florida will play Florida.
Oh, good one.
You got some really intriguing bowl games.
UCF is playing. University of Central Florida is playing Florida.
That's like UAB playing Alabama. That's the dangerous one for Florida.
Hey, let me tell you this. Let me tell y'all something. Florida will wear them out. You watch.
If they show up.
Yeah, but if they've got any pride at all, I think they'll show up. But that's just my opinion.
I told you that Lafayette was the play. I mean, I don't understand how in the world App State out in Vegas, the favorites, against a team that beat them 40-7. The head coach is still coaching for Louisiana Lafayette. Home game in Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, I know App State only got beat 24-16. They played a lot better game. God, how in the world could they have been the favorites?
Yeah.
I listened to you. That was my play, Louisiana Lafayette.
And I'll tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Same thing with Utah against Oregon. I mean, how can they turn around 2 weeks later and try to beat a team that just beat 38-7?
That's right. Well, it could have happened in the SEC. It could have happened anywhere, more or less. I'm glad it didn't.
I mean, you just already played, and you already saw how much dominant the other team was.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, exactly right. And, you
Now
know,
Cristobal is leaving Oregon to become the head coach of Miami. So now the Oregon job.
Christopher is leaving. Well, I tell you what, I was not impressed with his team this year, even though they opened up and they beat Ohio State. But
last year they did too.
Yeah. But, hey, he's a perfect guy for there. Everybody says that. You know, he played down there. He's sort of an idle guy down there. They just love him.
Yeah.
And he knows how to recruit those Florida kids. They say to win a championship, all you got to do is take a 100-mile radius of Miami.
Probably a 40-mile radius.
Yeah, and you'll get all the players you want.
All right, Oklahoma has officially named Brent Venables the Clemson defense coordinator. Is now the head coach of Oklahoma. So the Oklahoma job has now been
Can I tell you something? He's never been a head coach either, has he?
No, but he was there for 12 years.
And he's a high-paying. I bet you the Clemson folks are glad they don't have to pay him over $1 million a year. They were paying. I mean, how much were they paying him, Mike?
Well, can Clemson keep winning without him? I mean, he's kind of the main reason they've won all these games.
Clemson paid him $2.5 million a year as defense.
The highest-paid defensive coordinator in football at the college level.
Well worth it.
Yeah, and he's moving out of there now, though, and he that's $2.5 million on your payroll. You don't have to face, you know.
Of course, you stay for Troy University. John Summerall's press conference today is what, 11 o'clock, Doug?
Yes, and that is the main story out there, all you folks. We were talking about these bowl games, that there are a highlight for this past weekend. But the key to this weekend, Troy University has hired what we think is going to be a great hire in John Summerall. And Mike, tell us a little bit about him. Hello.
Well, we mentioned he's the assistant co-defense coordinator, assistant head coach at Kentucky. Of course, he was under Neil Brown for 3 years at Troy, so he has a local connection to the community and knows a lot of people down here from his 3 years. Linebacker coach, I think assistant head coach. He was also at Ole Miss for 1 year. Got his start coaching out in San Diego, of all places, so that was interesting. He's from Huntsville, Alabama. He went to Grisham High School, was I think a 3-year starter at linebacker at Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, he was a great linebacker.
Led the team in tackles. I said the other day he's 41. I think I read now he's 39.
39? Are you serious? He's a youngster, isn't he? That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him getting off the Troy plane. Beautiful wife, and one little boy and 3 adorable little girls. I mean,
oh boy!
Coming in with 4 little kids to Troy, Alabama, so that's exciting for the community. And yeah, this is big. This is the biggest hire we've had in a long, long time. I mean, Troy has gone backwards over the last 3 years, and you just hope that he can turn it around and at least get us back to a bowl next year, and then maybe we can do some amazing things that Neil Brown and Summerall did when they were at Troy. 10 wins, 11 wins, 10 wins. You just can't imagine getting back to those win totals again, but I would love to see it.
And we're not talking about just the football team, but the total program. Our fans, we got to get them back in where were they supposed to be, and get them ready for a big season next year. I feel very confident by knowing John Summerall and watching him perform when he was here at Troy. He is the kind of guy, and we're talking about a guy that believes that he can do it, and I believe is a great word when it comes to building a program. You got to believe in the program first, and I think our team's going to definitely believe in it. And they've got a leader. A real general they got in here now that is going to kick. What?
He's posted some videos already. He'll get you fired up. I mean, he is a fiery guy.
Tell our people some of those that they can go
well,
to.
You can go on TroyTrojan.com. They've already been releasing videos of him talking to the team, going around, walking around, looking at facilities. There's actually an interview where Brent Jones is actually hiring him on camera over the phone. Brent Jones was on the phone. Summerall's over the phone. Thank goodness for Wheels Up and Lawrence Times. Lawrence Times, the former Detroit great. And of course, he kicked in the NFL for the Giants, won 2 Super Bowls. He's the CEO or vice president of Wheels Up, which is one of the biggest, airplane companies now for the rich and famous.
All right, we'll put you on a hold. We'll pick you on hold. I'm going to go back to him in a minute.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Bill, Will Matthews.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Will. We got Michael on the other line, and
But Summerall, the big thing about today is the fact he's been there. I mean, I guess he's been hired since Friday, so everybody wants to know what his staff's going to be. Everybody's dying to know who the offense coordinator's going to be, who the defense coordinator's going to be. I would imagine within these few days he's going to put together somewhat of a staff, and then I guess we'll figure out who is on the existing staff if some of those guys will stick around as well.
Back to what we were saying, and we're gonna move around like we always do, back and forth on different topics. But I was interested to know. You said that they had some footage of Coach walking around.
Yeah, videos on TroyTrojan.com. I don't know if Steve can pull anything up for y'all in the back.
But what was they? Were they looking around at Troy's facilities or what? What were they doing?
Yeah, looking around at Troy's facilities. But then he was like, press conference where. I mean, not press conference, but the first time he met the team, he was able to, give a motivational speech about, how much Troy means to him.
Oh, man, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
All right, well, then, of course, they do a good job. AD Brent, I think, has really got another winner. And, of course, he's got to go out and perform, and he got to hire staff. He got to get – I tell you what, motivation I do not believe is going to be any problem. I think Troy's going to definitely be, wouldn't you say, Rice?
Yes. For everything I've heard, yes. He's going to be emotional, fiery, intense. He's going to care.